Alright. Alright. Hello, chat. I'm not having my headphones on for this stream because, well, I don't need them. I generally don't fucking need them. Why? Because I honestly only feel like being on here long enough to talk about something that I feel like talking about, as you know, I always do. It's kind of common knowledge at this point. I come on stream, I talk, I yap, I bitch, moan, piss, and groan about whatever's on my fucking mind. Sometimes doing nothing. Sometimes with my friends. Sometimes alone. For whatever God knows what reason. And for once, I want to talk about something that's been kind of just plaguing at my mind as of late. Why and what is it? So, everybody remembers about a couple, say couple very loosely here, a couple of weeks ago, I got into, well, not really got into, I had a very big fallout with a few of my friends that split my friend group in half. Now, I want to explain something. I don't give a shit. Generally don't give a shit about the whole Zenith drama or what the outcome of that was. Yeah, I'll still be doing the stream whenever the fuck I do said stream. So don't get me wrong when I say that. It's going to happen eventually when I feel like it. It will happen when I'm ready to do that stream. But in the meantime, I'm focusing more on the then and now. I'm more focused on myself. I'm more focused on what I want to do, what I need to get done. Focusing on myself and focusing on whatever. But I've just been, putting it lightly, I've been overwhelmed. I've been constantly going through the ropes of, I don't know how to feel, I don't know what to do, I don't know who I can and cannot trust, I don't know what and what I should trust, and I'm having a hard time picking and choosing who I believe has my best interest at heart, which I know is kind of not a shocker to hear, knowing the fact that I have trust issues and I have severe problems with people in general. I'm not the greatest guy in the fucking world, as I've said countless times, and I'm going to continue to not be a good person, as I'm going to continue to make mistakes. But one thing, again, that's been plaguing my mind is I got into a group chat like a week ago, and I talked to the person, specifically Devil Ryu, or as everybody will know her, Ryu, that broke up with me for a piece of shit named Zenith. So, why am I bringing this up? Now, after a couple of weeks have gone by, or a week since that, quote, group chat happened, quote unquote. Well, I want to explain, I talked to her and tried to get her to understand where I'm coming from when it came to the whole scenario that happened. And then I get told by her friend that I'm apparently starting drama because, and I'm digging myself a grave because I'm handling it poorly, which I will admit the whole situation, yeah, I could have handled a lot better. I could have handled it severely better. And I'm not going to sit there and deny that. I'm not. But one thing that really upset me about the whole bullshit that happened between me and her in that group chat is where she claimed she loved me. And all of that shit, but could not answer a simple question of morality. Which, from 5 days ago, if you remember that community post, I shown, quote the community post, this one specifically, where I asked her the question, the genuine question that made me upset with her in the first place. If he actually cared about people, quoting Zenith, why would he threaten his quote-unquote, his wording, by the way, best friend? And she says, quote-unquote, I don't know. Simply put, she doesn't have an answer, and her whole answer is based off what her heart tells her. That's her going off her own moral belief of her own opinion, not the fact of the matter. Why would you sit there and say you loved me, but dated me for 4 days and left me for a piece of shit? What? Like, the genuine point behind it that I tried to make as my argument is, if he threatened to kill me, right? If he threatened my life, what is going to make you think he won't sit there and threaten everybody else's life? What makes you think he won't do the same shit to you that he did to me? And that's what bothered me more than anything, is that she let him in right after leaving me. When I got told the shit that she did before she dated me, like, they were flirting, calling each other fucking pet names, sending each other dick pics and nudes to each other, which, yeah, may not be really relevant, but I don't believe Ryu's a good person, genuinely. And I cared. I sat there, cared, left her unblocked so she could come to me directly and talk to me like a person. Talk to me like a grown adult. And she gives me that bullshit excuse. But another thing that pissed me off about the whole situation is Zenith is a guy who only cared about his reputation. He didn't care really about anybody but himself. And if he really cared about anybody but himself, right? After I called him out on the shit he did, he doubled down, shit-talked me in a VC on Discord to behind my back, and then deleted his YouTube channels. And made his Discord say, quote-unquote, named goodbye. If you were not in the wrong, why would you have left? Why did you run away, delete your accounts, and are trying to hide? All that shows is guilt. If you delete your accounts and run. I know I'm not one to talk because I've deleted my accounts multiple times. But unlike him, I didn't hide. I came back. The same day, shit hit the fan, I made a new account, came back. And kept moving on like nothing happened. But him, as far as I'm aware, he blocked my number, he blocked me on Instagram, he disappeared, and all of that. And I know people are going to probably ask me, why am I talking about this now? Again, why am I talking about this weeks after this shit happened? Well, honestly, it's been giving me time to think, time to put some thought into my head, and time to put two and two together. And it makes me realize that I need to start making new friends that aren't part of old friend groups or just old groups that I've been a part of in the past. Why? Generally, why? Because, let me tell you, everybody that I was friends with in the past have either A, been mentally unhinged, like A, mentally unhinged, B, psychotic, C, drama obsessed, 4, not well mentally, 5 has had nothing but problems with me, or I've had problems with them, 6, it's a back and forth fight, always back and forth, no reasonable chats can be had without an argument breaking out, or 7, both parties are not good for each other, and it ends in one side getting held accountable for something, getting called out for something, or just doing something in general that gets held in the higher standards and higher accountability. And then people get upset, people start blaming, pointing fingers, and it divides the group entirely. So what I'm basically thinking about doing is limiting my friend group, cutting people off that I don't really want to be associated with anymore because of the factor that it's just not going to do well for me. And it's just only going to get worse and worse if I don't make a choice. And the reason why, again, it took me a lot longer to want to do this, because I did it before. And what happened when I cut people that were bad off? I got guilt-tripped. I got people who were trying to fucking tell me that I'm a horrible person. I'm backstabbing them, and I'm putting a target on my back. There's a lot of people lately that I've kept added only for the factor that I don't want them to think that me blocking them is me stabbing them in the back. No. What would be stabbing you in the back would be me publicly attacking you, publicly calling you out, me publicly doing what I'm doing here, going on a stream and talking about you. That's stabbing you in the back. That's me shit-talking you. But no, I tried to cut people off that were not good for me, and I got told that I was manipulative. I was a piece of shit. I was a bad guy. I was stabbing people in the back for my benefit. I was a horrible, horrible human being. All because I was trying to do what I thought was right for me. All because I tried to do what I wanted to do to better myself and to better my life. And what did I get? The same thing that happened when they were in my life. Negativity, toxicity. And that's why over the years, over the time of drama after drama after drama, conflict after conflict after conflict, argument after argument, I've grown to accept I can't please everybody. There's always going to be a reason why somebody's going to have a problem with me, and there's always going to be somebody who's going to hate me for who I am. There's going to be somebody out there who's not going to like me. I yap a lot. I bitch a lot. I have problems. I'm a fucking human being. I'm not okay myself. I'm not mentally well myself. I literally have had thoughts of killing myself countless times in the past few weeks. Probably more than I should admit. I literally have a fucking knife always sitting on my desk because I stare at it and plunder. Is this the choice I want to make, or is this not the choice I want to make? Do I want to try and make things better for myself, or do I want to take the pussy way out? I sit there and contemplate. I sit there and I dwell on it. I sit there and I think. And I will admit, I'm not the greatest at making my words felt. I'm not good at using my words. I'm not good at expressing myself in a positive, good manner. I have problems. I literally can't explain sometimes without somebody getting pissed off or there being an argument because of how I word things. Which, yeah, I beat myself up for. I hold myself to a higher extent if I upset somebody, and then I grow to regret it later. But people are going to constantly ask me behind the scenes in my DMs, or are they going to get blocked? Are they going to get removed? Are they never going to see me again? Are they going to never talk to me again? Why am I out here on a stream venting my heart out on a live stream on YouTube of all places, and Kick and Twitch and Rumble of all places? Why am I airing out how I feel? Well, simple. I'm only airing out how I feel because I want people to know in the way that I can best explain. I want there to be like, I would have done this a video, but at the same time, who the fuck's gonna sit there and watch me yap in a video for an hour? Who's gonna sit there and sit in a VC with me knowing that people got fucking lives and listen to me yap about how I feel? Nobody. Nobody's gonna do that. So why I'm doing that on a stream is because I want people to be able to come back whenever they feel like and just watch me explain how I feel in the way that I can best explain it. This is my way of showing people that I want you to come back and see how I feel. I want you to know that I'm still here. I don't like blocking people. I don't like being an asshole to people. I generally don't. But I will not lie that there are times where I lose my temper, I lose my cool, and I get upset. Everybody does. Everybody gets angry. Everybody gets upset. Everybody does dumb shit. Everybody makes mistakes. That's the part of being human. That's literally what humans do. They make mistakes. They make problems. They make problems that they have to overcome. And I know as a person that I can't make everybody happy with my choices. I know I'm a fuck up to people. I know I'm a mistake, and I've made countless mistakes in my life. Some repetitive mistake after mistake after mistake, over and over and over and over again. Am I proud of the mistakes I have made? No, I'm not. If anything, I beat myself up for the mistakes I make after time passes and the shit blows over. When the situation's said and done, when the shit is over with, I dwell, I think, I reflect, I beat myself up because I feel like I caused the problem. Which 9 out of 10 times, I do cause the problems. I do make the mistakes. I do cause people problems. And I want to come on here and apologize to anybody that I have made a mistake to. Again, I'm not the greatest guy, and I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, we've heard that one before, oh, we heard that before, be meaningful, make it truthful, make it genuine. I wish I could. I really wish I could sit here and tell you to your face a genuine apology, because no matter what I do, no matter what choices I make, it will never erase the negativity that my actions cause, or what any negativity have happened in my life, or anybody's life for that matter. The reason why I don't apologize much to people is because I've accepted that no matter how much I apologize, the past will never change. The situation will never change itself. People are going to hate me even if I say I'm sorry. Even if I try my best to make amends. Even if I try my best to move on. Even if I try my best to be different, to try and better myself. It will never, ever change the factor of what happened. 2022, 2021, 2023, 2024, 5, 19, 20, 18, 17, 16, doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't change anything that happened. And I want to apologize to people. There is a lot of people I want to talk to. I want to open up to. I want to explain my heart out. I want to cry my eyes out and explain everything to the best I can. But you know why I don't? Because I can't. They will refuse to talk to me. There are people who will refuse to open up to me. There are people who will refuse to talk to me. There are people who will refuse to want to speak to me. There are people who refuse to even think I exist. And there are people who will constantly badmouth me no matter how much I want to change the shit that happened. That's why I don't apologize. It's not because of my ego. And I will admit on a stream, I will admit to everybody, I have an ego. I have a problem. I am egotistical. I am a narcissistic piece of shit sometimes. I am an asshole. I will admit. I can admit that truthfully. I think of myself in high regards over others. I tend to put myself first in my eyes over other people. And I'm not going to deny the truth, because that is the truth. I tend to think myself more highly than others, and I take others for granted sometimes. And I will admit to it. Will it ever change? I highly doubt it. And I want people to know that if I do come off like that, it's not in my eyes how I perceive it. It's just how it comes off in my actions. And I tend to have that happen a lot, and I apologize. And there are people that say, oh, just drop the drama and move on. I want people to know, I wish it was that simple. I genuinely wish it was just that simple and easy to just drop everything and move on. Like, when Ryu said to drop the drama between me and Zenith and not go after him, her, or any of their friends, right? I will say this publicly. I wish it was that simple. I wish it was that easy. But you know why it's not that easy? Words have consequences. Actions have consequences. Actions have repercussions. Actions have consequences. And the consequence of his action was it hurt. You don't threaten your best friends. That's a line you don't cross. And you think that you're not going to get held accountable for it. So trust me, I would drop everything on him if I could. But if he doesn't take accountability and admit to what he did was wrong, but just sit there, delete his accounts, and run, why should I? Because he's not going to take accountability, and that means I'm going to hold him accountable because he doesn't want to admit that he was wrong. And I will admit to people, and I'm going to say this publicly, I don't say this often, I have told people publicly to kill themselves. I have told people personally to harm themselves. Was that right of me to do? No. So that's why, unlike Zenith, who can't admit to when he was wrong, when he can't admit that he fucked up by doing so, I will sit here and say, I was wrong for telling people to kill themselves and hurt themselves, and I apologize. Again, it may not sound sincere. It may not sound like I'm being genuine with it. And I know I said it a lot to people. My ex, one of my exes, she knows who she is. I'm not going to drop names. But she knows who she is. And I know she's watching, and I apologize. Again, I know my sorry's not going to mean much because it's not going to change what happened. What happened, happened. I can't change that. But at the same time, unlike him, I'm going to take accountability where accountability is due. I fucked up by saying that. I told DJ to kill himself. I told my ex Haley to kill herself. I told Casey at one point to kill herself. I told Noah to kill themselves. I told Soul to kill themselves. I told plenty of people to kill themselves. Was that right of me to do? No. If anything, sometimes, depending even if the people are not right, and the people that I said it to were in the wrong, it's still something that I can't change and I beat myself up for because I'm the one who said it. I'm the one who uttered the words that you don't tell people. I'm the one who said it at the first place. So if anything, if anybody should be apologizing for a lot of shit that's been going on in my friend group and people in general that I'm friends with, it should be me. Why? Because I've made, again, a lot of mistakes. And that's why when I don't do a stream, right, about when I say I'm going to call somebody out, I don't call them out. It's because I'm reflecting. It's because I'm trying to come to terms with myself. I'm trying to think of a more peaceful solution. I'm trying to hold out hope that they will eventually come around and talk to me like a grown adult, like a civil human being. like somebody who wants to fix the problem. I left Zenith. I left Ryu unblocked. But all I got told was I need to drop the situation because all I'm doing is hurting other people. But think of it like this. If I drop the subject and I just let it go, and he does it to somebody else, what's going to change the factor that it's going to happen again and again and again and again and again? Like, I don't want to look at it negatively because, like, again, thinking of it negatively is only going to cause more negativity, and that's what I don't want. I don't want the negative narrative or the negative, just the negativity in general being pushed out. Like it's some normalized factor that we should just normalize already. I don't want that to be the norm. But I can't sit here and just deny the truth. It hurts to think about, and it hurts to reflect on, because there are people out there who claim they want me to drop shit, or just anybody in general to drop things. But at the end of the day, can you really drop a subject without with the pain to go away? Do you really expect to drop a narrative and then the pain will all fade away in time? No. If you don't hold yourself accountable, all that pain is going to do is fester. All it's going to do is drag you into a negative point in your life, and then you're going to sit there, blame everybody else, think it's everybody else's fault that your life is as bad as it is. You want to know why I'm saying this? Because that's me. That's how I view it. I have made so many fuck-ups. It's not funny. I have made so many fucking decisions that has made a lot of negative impacts on my life. And I don't want any more negative impact. I don't want more people to be affected by this. That's why I hold people accountable. That's why I do what other people won't. I call people out. Even though I'm not liked, I'm hated. I've fucked up a lot. I've made a lot of mistakes and a lot of choices that I shouldn't have. But that's why I do it. Why? Because I do it to hold myself accountable, to make sure that I don't forget what I have done. That's why I never forget the shit that I say and the shit that I do. And I hold people accountable because I don't want people to feel like shit for their actions they make. I made mistake. Problem after problem after problem. I've made people almost kill themselves from what I've been told. I have made people suicidal from what I've been told. I have made people generally uncomfortable from what I've been told. And I can't express enough how much it pains me to hear that that's what I made people go through and what I made people feel when I try to not be that person. And it pains me to have to sit there and hear that from people. I don't like being the asshole. I don't like being the bad guy. I don't like being a dick. But I am what I become, and I become what I try to destroy. I become what I set out to to get rid of. I make myself the problem. I make myself the enemy. I make myself a hated person because I do what I think is right. But me doing what I think is right has negative consequences. It has repercussions. Like I say, every action has a consequence. Even the ones that you think that you're doing is right will 9 out of 10 times have a consequence for making the choice. And I have experienced the consequences of my actions again and again and again and again. I have made the same mistake, the same consequences, and the same choices so many times to where I have memorized the consequences of my actions. And it hurts to say. It generally sucks to sit there and admit. But I can't better myself without admitting my wrongs. I can't better myself without admitting my fuck-ups, my mistakes, my genuine mistakes that have left a negative impact on people. And left a negative impact on the people that I claimed to care about. And to which I say, I'm sorry. I am sorry. Because I know, again, no matter how much I vent, no matter how much I explain my actions, explain how I feel, explain how I see things, and how I view it, it will never change the truth. It will never change the fact of the matter that I make mistakes that I'm not too proud of. Will I sit here and deny it any further? No. I've hurt people. I've upset people. I've used people. I've manipulated people. I've ruined lives. I've made people fucking feel like shit. And I am not proud of it at all. But all I could do is sit there and say, I am sorry. Because there's nothing I can do that will undo what I have done. Again, and people are going to sit here and say, you shouldn't beat yourself up. You shouldn't let what other people say get to you. Well, if I'm going to be honest, it does get to me. Why? Because I feel like I'm responsible for the shit I do. I feel like I'm responsible for the shit I say. I am the one responsible for my actions. Not you, not the internet, me. I'm the one responsible for everything that I have done, and I'm not proud of. So me holding people accountable is my way of making amends for my mistakes. Even though a lot of people are going to see it as, oh, you're just trying to guilt trip the narrative. You're just trying to lie about me to make me look bad, to make yourself feel better. No. Because I'm going to be honest, if I were to manipulate people like I normally did, I wouldn't be coming with anything to try and make myself look credible. I would just say random shit that's off the top of my head. But I just want to say one last thing. I'm not a great guy. I've made mistakes. I have befriended horrible people. I have befriended pieces of shit. The scum of the scum. The worst of the worst. I have met people like 𝐸𝐻𝒃𝓿, who is a pedophile. I have met a guy named Soul Reaper. I dated him. He's a piece of shit. And I still forgave him after everything he has done. 𝐂𝐥𝐤, somebody I met in 2020, who's a piece of shit, who groomed a minor. What does this have to do with it? Nothing. It's just, I met people who were shit, and those people molded my personality to who I am. The amount of problems I have got into, the amount of drama I was put into because of these people, is why I'm the way I am today. People are going to ask me, why do I have problems trusting people? Why do I have trust issues? I want to be honest, I have a hard time trusting people. Think of it like this. I grew up in an abusive household. I was molested as a child by a registered sex offender who is currently dead, by the way. I was neglected. I was abused. And I was basically just the kid that my family didn't care about. I was the one that was beat, bruised, left in a fucking mental psych ward because my family did not want to deal with me. My family didn't want me at home, so they sent me away my entire childhood either A, locked in my bedroom and only ate when I was given food, or put in a mental psych ward for months, away from home, away from my family, away from my loved ones, all because they didn't want me around. They didn't want me there. So I will sit here and say, again, I lack social skills. I lack the communication. I lack the ability to hold and understand social cues, social skills, and even how to have a genuine conversation without something going wrong. I have made a lot of mistakes. I am not great. I am not a good guy. I have made mistakes. If you have seen my website of where I hold people accountable, where I have exposed pedophiles, you will see I have a past myself. I am not so good of a person myself. I have a past. Yeah, I'm not proud of. I've been in therapy since March of 2024. Couple of years after all of the shit, like 2 months after two of the situations that has been going on. And I will admit to a lot of it. I got accused of being a groomer, which I have debunked. I have been accused of sending my nudes to minors, which was my ex I sent them to. But I don't want to get into that. I got accused of being a criminal and having a criminal record, which is false. I got accused of not being on the autism spectrum and not being mentally disabled, which I have done tests, and I even have medical records that show that I'm mentally disabled. I wouldn't be on SSI if I wasn't mentally disabled. I got accused of being a pedophile because when I was 19, I had sexual interactions with a 17-year-old in Illinois, which the state Illinois age consent is 17, while the age consent in my state is 16. That's something. And another thing I got accused of was when I was 19, I dated a 15-year-old back in 2024. Again, I'm not a good guy myself. I dox people. I attack people. I call out people. I even say the hard R, N-word, all the time, most of the time. So I will sit here and say, out of everybody on the internet, I have a past. I have a negative past. Grew up in an abusive household. I have made mistakes, some more regrettable and questionable than others. But I can't change what I have done. I've been in therapy since. And if I were to pull up my messages on my phone logs, right? If I were to go pull up my messages, I don't know if you could see this or not, but I still go to therapy. I'm still in therapy. I have a therapist that I have an appointment in 6 days. June 11th at 7 p.m. I have a therapy appointment. So like I've been trying to get help for my mental state. I have been trying to seek out medical professional help to better my life so I don't make the same fuck ups, the same decisions, the same choices. But you want to know why I don't, and I know that I can't change the past? Is because no matter how much I work on myself, no matter how much I try to change myself for the better, nobody will ever forget the negative stuff that has happened in my life. No one will ever forget the negativity that occurred in my life. No one will ever forget the fuck-ups I made. And I don't want to forget my fuck-ups. That's why I continue to bitch about my fuck-ups. I know it's going to sound like I'm being a bit counterproductive here, but the only reason why I never give up my fuck-ups, I never let go of the past, is because thinking about my past, even though it hurts, even though it makes me irritable, it makes me aggressive, it makes me upset, it makes me annoyed to hear about. Don't get me wrong, I get it. It hurts to hear about. It hurts to annoy. It annoys me to hear about it. It upsets me to hear about it. It frustrates me to hear about it. It hurts to think about. But truth is, the reason why I don't let it go is because that's what motivates me to wake up every day. That's what motivates me to change myself. It motivates me to better myself. So one day when all of the shit fades off into the distance, when the day that I can finally be happy, I will have a family of my own, a fucking wife and kids, you know, my own job, my career, my dream job, my dream car, a house, a family, you know. When I succeed in life, in the future, I can look back and say, I came a long way. I can sit there and say confidently, I can do if I put my mind to it, if I just look at who I was, I can do anything. I could better myself. I could be a better person if I just try. As long as I know where I came from, I can look back and smile knowing that I did what I could to be a better person, to be a better guy than I was in the past. Because not everybody stays the same. Yeah, there are people who don't change, and there are people who are never gonna change. But for me, I hold on to the past, even though it may upset people or hurt people, and it'll hurt me in the process. But I rather not run from my problems. I rather confront my problems. I hold on to it to better myself because it motivates me to make a change. It motivates me to better myself. It makes me able to look back and see who I was then to who I am now. And that's why I never let go of the past. I know people are going to say, you should just let go of the past. You should just move on. Forget it exists. But answer me this truthfully. If I let go of the past, if I let go of my motivation, what would motivate me? What would I know? What would I have to change from? Because if I didn't hold on to the past, I would think there's nothing wrong and there would be nothing I need to change. There's nothing that should be changed if I don't have a reason to change. My past is my reason to better myself. My past is the reason why I fight despite the pain. I don't want to run from my problems, not anymore. I want to confront my problems the best that I can, even if it hurts. Because I know it's going to be a dumb saying, but I always say to some people, if it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. And I see that as a true fact, because if you're not struggling, what are you trying to change from? If there's nothing to motivate you to change, then what are you trying to do with yourself? I know I'm yapping, I know I'm venting, I know I'm bitching, but just truthfully, I just want people to know I can't change my past. I can't change what happened. There are a lot of people that I've hurt and I want to apologize to, but I will never, ever hear from again because they will never want to talk to me. Because they don't want to talk to me. They don't want to hear from me. They don't want to accept that I'm trying my best to change. There are people who don't want to accept the fact that I'm trying my best for people. If not for others, for myself. But people will always have their opinion. People will always believe what they are doing is right. I know I kind of sit myself into that environment because I sometimes believe what I'm doing is right, regardless of the factor of the narrative. I'm not good. I'm not great. I've made mistakes. I've made fuck-ups. But that's not an excuse to try and justify my past. My past is unforgivable. And I will not deny that. And I apologize to anybody that I hurt in the past, as that is not right of me to do. It's not right for me to make a problem and then try to justify it like some people, like Cody, for example. You know, I don't want to bring up another person's situation into a situation that doesn't and shouldn't really concern them. But Cody, he sent his dick pic to what he thought was a 15-year-old, but was actually a catfish. Yeah, it's not right. What he did was wrong, and yeah, he should be held accountable for it, because it was a mistake that he should take accountability for. But the difference between what I'm trying to do now to what he did, even though it was 3 years ago, and what my shit was 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 years ago, throughout a span of those years, even some parts of 2025 as well, so even some parts of this year alone. But what he did was he justified himself. He downplayed it. He denied it. He tried to say it's the past. And nowadays he tries to say it's the past. It's never going to change. He doesn't change. He doesn't try to better himself. He doesn't even make an opportunity to apologize for his mistake. He silences people. He hushes people. He silences the critics, the people holding him accountable. He silences anybody who holds him accountable. Meanwhile, me, I don't silence the criticism, because I know if I silence the criticism, I would be lying to myself. I would be hurting myself, because I would be letting my ego way higher than accountability. That's why I haven't blocked people. That's why I don't hide negative comments. I don't hide people who attack me. Yeah, I kind of sit there and try to correct the matter and try to tell what happened and give my side on it, which, yeah, could be handled a lot better. But I don't try to deny what happened. I only deny the shit that never happened. I only deny the lies. I only deny the fake information that's been spread about a situation. But if it happened, if it generally is true and happened, I don't deny it. Because I'd rather be held accountable for my fuck-ups instead of trying to deny it like Cody. Because the difference between me and him, he will deny it. He will live in the delusion. I'd rather not live in that delusion. I want to be held accountable. I want to be wrong. I want to be civil about it. I want to understand what I did wrong so I can better myself. If I've learned anything throughout my time in therapy, if I've learned anything within my time within constant problems, is I want to be accountable for my problems. I want to be wrong. I want to know what I have done wrong. Why? Because I'd rather fix my mistakes. I'd rather take accountability for my mistakes, so there is no animosity, so there is no hatred between me and other people. I want people to know. I want to be accountable. I want to be wrong. Because I would feel better knowing that what I did hurt somebody and know what I did to hurt somebody. So I know how to not make that same mistake, even though there's a high chance, and I'm not going to lie here, there's a high chance I'll probably make the same mistake again. And I will not deny that. Because, again, everybody makes mistakes. Even if you take accountability for a mistake, there's a high chance you're going to do it again and again and again. It's like there's no guarantee that you're not going to make mistakes, because not everybody is flawless. Everybody has their flaws. Everybody has their kinks, quirks, and ticks. Everybody has their problems. Me included. I have my problems. I have my moments where I go insane. I get upset. I attack people. I shit talk people. I have my moments. I'm not a flawless person. I have, again, made many, many mistakes. And I apologize for my mistakes. And I know that I'm going to continue to make the mistakes that I apologize for. So that's why here and now, to anybody, if I make a mistake again to people, I apologize in advance. And I will probably apologize then after time passes, when everything boils down and comes to a halt. Because I'm not clean. I'm not good. I'm gonna make mistakes. More than I want to admit. More than I want to accept. Why? Because that's human. That's being a human. You make mistakes. You make problems. You fuck up. That's human. That's being a person. But the difference between being a person and a good person and a delusional person is the delusional person will never take accountability. They will never admit when they're wrong. The good person that actually wants to be better will take accountability and admit when he's wrong. And I hate myself. I generally hate myself. People tell me, oh, you gotta love yourself before you can love others. No. People tell me that I need to love myself. I will never love myself. I hate myself. I generally despise my own being. I despise who I am. Why? Because I hurt people. I do shit sometimes, even sometimes on purpose, or others by accident, that upsets people. That makes people hurt. That makes people cry. That makes people upset. And I hate myself because I let that happen. I let that be something I do. That's why I hate myself. I hate myself because it happens and there's nothing I could do. And when it's all said and done, they either A, have left, B, are long gone and I'll never see him again, or C, the bridge was already burnt. The bridge is already gone. And all that's left is the memories of what it could have been if that situation never fucking happened. For example, the shit with me and Ryu. With me and her, the memory of that, all that's left is the memory of what it could have been if the problem never happened. With my ex Haley, what could have been if the situation originally never happened. The situation with DJ. The situation of what could have been if me and her never went at it because of her own ego. With Chantel, what could have been if she didn't let her ego and her victim blaming get the better of her in her situation. What could have been with Cody if he never did what he did in the first place. Like, I don't know if what I'm saying is making sense. And I don't know if any of what I'm saying is making sense. Because, again, I'm not good at my words. I'm not good at explaining how I feel in a positive way. And I apologize if what I'm saying just sounds like a bunch of bitching. A bunch of moaning, groaning, pissing, and yawning. Because I'm not good at this. There's still a lot of shit I gotta work on about myself. And I'm not gonna say that there's nothing I should need to work on. Because there is. There's a lot of shit that's still fucked. There's still a lot of shit that's wrong. But I want you to know, I hurt. I grieve. I make mistakes. And then I grow to regret them later. But I can't take back the actions that I do. I can't take back the choices I have done. That's why I hate myself. That's why I hold on to the past. Because I don't want that to continue to happen. I don't want that to continue to be the case. I don't want that to be my life. I don't want to be the guy that causes problems for other people because of my own insecurities. I don't want to be the guy that makes people upset because of my own fuck-ups. Because of how I think, of how I thought, of what I do and how I talk. I don't want people to be upset because of me. And it hurts me to think about if people actually do end up getting hurt because of me. Because I am not a great person. That's why people were ever getting into a side of a drama, right? That's why I don't drag people into my fights. Because 90% of the time, the fight that I start, the fight that I'm in, is because of something I've said or what I've done. Or something they've said and they've done. And I retaliated in a negative way. I don't want people to fight my battles. I don't want people to fight for me, with me, or around me. I don't want people to get involved with something that they don't concern themselves with. I don't want people in my problems because it's not fair to them that they have to suffer for my mistakes, for my fuck-ups, for my problems. That's why I try to avoid going to people about how I feel. That's why I avoid trying to vent to people about how I feel. That's why I hold my emotions in, because I don't want people to worry about me. I don't want people to think that I want to bring them into a problem. I don't want people to think that I'm causing them a harm. I'm causing them issues. That's not my intent. And if it comes off that way, I apologize. I wanted to come on this stream specifically to express my feelings, my genuine regrets, my mistakes, my feelings, and how I feel, because I'm not great. I make mistake after mistake, and I'm not good of a person that I want to be. I'm not the person I want to be, because I make mistakes that make me a bad guy. I make mistakes that fuck my life over. And if that is how people see me, I'm sorry. You are entitled to your opinions on me. You can hate me if you want. You can... Fuck, sorry. You can hate me if you want. You can dislike me if you want. It's your opinion. I'm not going to sit there and try to change how you view me. I will never try to change your eyesight and how you feel about me, because you are entitled to your opinion. You are entitled to your belief. You are entitled to how you feel about me. That's why I will never sit there and try to change how you feel about me. You can hate me. You can love me. You can dislike me. You can be around me. It's your choice. But I want to just make the matter clear. I make mistakes that I grow to regret. I make choices that I grow to regret. I make choices that are harmful for myself and impact others negatively. I will never be a great guy. If anything, I'm just a piece of shit. So where am I going to go with this from the future? I'm going to start cutting people off. I'm going to start cutting people, like blocking people, because at this point, I really wish that I could sit here and say confidently that I can, come to terms with people. I can make amends with people. No. There's no shot that I can make amends with people. After the shit that they do and the shit that I do, the shit that they say and the shit that I say. There's no way that it will change anything. So I block people, and I'm going to block people now. And if they're blocked, I'm sorry, but it's done. What's done is done. And I will admit here publicly, if I ever get into an argument with you, I apologize. But I have a server. It's open to anybody. I will be banning people from it because my server is going to be open for everybody. It's going to have my friends. It's going to have people that I talk to in there. Why I want this server to be a thing is because I want to have a place to where all my friends and fans or people that trust and support me can just be. I don't want problems. I don't want arguments. I don't want people involved in a problem that doesn't concern them. Because that's the last thing I want. But if I do end up cutting you off, anybody who's on my friends list, I want you to know it's not me stabbing you in the back. I've never once wanted to stab people in the back. I never once wanted to betray anybody. I only stab people in the back if it's a justifiable cause, like Noah DeRozier, pedophile. Giovanni, or Schoolhouse, pedophile. Cody, pedophile. You know, like, I'm just going to tell it truthfully, bluntly, and honestly. I don't want problems. Because what I want to do in the future, what I want to do for myself is this. I want to be a content creator. I want to have fun. I want to stream, play games, hang out with my friends, mind my business, do my own thing. I really don't like doing call-out streams. I really don't like making problems for people. I don't like it. I don't like problems. I don't like conflict. I only get involved with conflict if I feel like there's no other choice. I only get involved if I feel like there's nothing else I can do to salvage the situation for what it is. And if it comes off as me being egotistical and a piece of shit, last time I'll say it in this stream, I apologize. I genuinely do. Because at all of it, at the end of the day, there's no matter how much I apologize for my fuck-ups, no matter how much I sit here and say I feel guilty for what I've done, it will never change the truth. It will never change the reality of the situation. It will never change what happens, what goes on in life, what is the problem, a situation for what it is. So if you want to hate me after this stream, if you want to unsubscribe to from the channel, it's your choice. I can't make your decisions. I can't make your mind up. I can't make your philosophy, if you want to call it that. All I can do is sit here and tell you what I feel and how I feel. The choice is up to you. I can influence your decisions. I can influence what you do with my words. But at the end of the day, just like anybody else, they can influence your decisions by their words. But I can't make your decision, as that is something only you as a person can do. Only you can make the choice of if you want to be truthful about it. You can support somebody. You can hate somebody. Only you can make that choice. Yeah, people can have a massive influence in your decision. People can have a massive redirection in your decision. But only you can finalize that choice. Not me, not your mom, not your dad, not your friends, nobody but yourself. And I think I've yapped enough. As I've been here an hour, and I don't think everybody here wants to sit here and listen to me yap anymore about how I feel and how I am emotionally. Because it's kind of common knowledge. I'm unstable. I'm not well. I'm hurting inside. I'm aching inside. And I have a lot of built-up emotion. A lot of built-up anger. A lot of suppressed depression. Suppressed emotions that I'm keeping to myself. Because I don't want to burden people with my problems. Because I don't want to make people worried about me. So I keep a lot to myself. I keep a lot hidden from people because I want people not to worry about me. I don't want people to be concerned. I don't want people to be upset. But that's how I feel. That's the truth about how I feel, what's been going on in my head. I feel guilty. I feel accountable. I feel like I fucked up a lot of friendships I had because of my actions and my emotions getting the better of me and making an impulsive decision to do something stupid. So to anybody that I hurt with my emotions or hurt with what the shit I say, again, the last time, I apologize, and I will forever feel sorry about it. I'll feel bad for it. I will feel like I'm a problem. I feel like I'll be a dick for it if I don't say anything. Because there is a lot of shit that I've done, a lot of shit I've said, that I've grown to regret. I've grown to hate. I've beat myself up for it. I blamed myself. Like, for example, last time I'll explain. The way me and Haley broke up, it was my fault that it happened. It was my fault for a lot of the shit that happened. A lot of the arguments that happened between me and her was my fault. I let the situation get bad, and I did nothing to better the situation. And it took me 3 years to come to them and apologize about the situation that happened years ago. And it's still, regardless, even as the situation faded, it's still my fault. The situation with, Blaze, me and her dating. Even though Soul manipulated her into believing me, I still felt guilty because I let that happen. I let Soul get in her life, manipulate her, and cost me everything. And I let that happen. The friendships I've had, I let a lot of people get involved. I let a lot of negativity get in the way of my friendships. I let hurtful things slide into the cracks. And all that did was damage the friendships. It killed the friendships. It made them rot from the inside out. And why I blame myself is because I let that happen. I let it happen, and I did nothing to stop it. I did nothing to fix it. I didn't apologize. I didn't make amends. I let it happen. And so fucking help me God, it killed me. It ate me alive to let shit like that happen. Justifiably so. It ate me alive because I let that negative situation happen and did nothing to stop it. So that's why at the end of the day I beat myself up and I blame myself because I let the situations happen. I let it get bad and I don't fix it. I don't make a difference to fix the problems before they explode, and then everything boils into hell. It goes into hell fire. It burns into nothing, and the bridges get burned, and it's my fault because I let it happen. But I'm going to end this stream off here, this venting session. I'm going to end it here because I know everybody here who's watching has a life. They got shit they got to do, shit they got to get done. And I feel like I'm just taking up time from you living your life and being a productive member of society while I'm over here wallowing, hitting myself, beating myself up, and just bitching about the shit that happened in the past and letting it control my life, my thoughts, my dreams, my actions. So thank you for everybody who has stuck around for watching. And if you do watch this in the future, way after the stream ends, I thank you for watching. It means a lot for you to sit here and listen to this because this is how I feel. People wanted to know how I felt for months. People have been wanting to know how I felt for months. well, here's that truth that you wanted. Here's the emotions you've wanted. So if I fuck up, if I hurt you or make you upset, I apologize. But anyways, that's it from me. If you DM me, I'll respond later on. I'll read it, but I'll respond later. But if you came in late, I'll leave the stream up. The stream will stay up. I'll let you do your own thing. Take care. Get your life. Do your own thing. And I wish everybody well. Bye.